Formula racing is the fastest and one of the most dangerous sports on the planet. At over 300 kilometers per hour, a single mistake, a mechanical failure, or one wrong move can change everything in an instant. These drivers were not ordinary men. They were fearless competitors who understood the risks, who lived on the edge, and who chased speed knowing exactly what it could cost them. But Formula One isn't just about tragedy. It's also about survival against impossible odds. If you think you've already seen the worst crashes in F1 history, think again. This sport pushes both man and machine to their absolute limits, delivering intense wheel-to-wheel battles on some of the most challenging circuits in the world. And when everything is pushed that far, crashes aren't just possible, they're inevitable. In this video, we're counting down some of the most shocking and unforgettable non-fatal crashes and deaths in Formula One history. Moments so intense, so dramatic, that they prove just how close drivers come to disaster and somehow walk away. Before we start, number 3 on this list survived the crash. They was breathing, their heart was beating, but they never opened his eyes again. Stay till the end. Number 10. Henry Certis win F2, 2009. Henry Certis was 18 years old, just a teenager, racing at Brands Hatch, working his way toward Formula One, carrying the name of his legendary father, John Certis, the only man in history to win a world championship on 2 wheels and 4 wheels. The race was normal, nothing unusual, and then a wheel came off another car. It flew through the air at full racing speed. Henry never saw it coming. It struck him directly on the head while he was still driving. He was taken to hospital immediately. He died that same day, 18 years old. His father had to bury his own son. The motorsport world was silent with grief. Henry Certis never got the chance to show the world what he could do. He was gone before it even began. Number 9. Elio Dangelus F1 testing, 1986. Elio Dangelus was not even racing, he was testing. A private test session at Paul Ricard in France, something Formula One drivers do all the time. His car failed at high speed, he crashed, and then the car caught fire. Here is the part that makes this story even more painful. Because it was a private test, there were almost no safety crews at the circuit. The rescue response was dangerously slow. Other drivers, including Nigel Mansell, ran across the track with their bare hands to try and pull him from the burning car. By the time help arrived, it was too late. Elio Dangelus died the next day from brain damage caused by the fire and the delay. He was 28 years old, a racing driver, a gifted pianist, a gentleman, killed not just by the crash, but by the silence around it. Number 8. Gonzalo Rodriguez, 1999. Gonzalo Rodriguez was 27 years old, a proud Uruguayan driver making his mark in one of the world's most competitive racing series. He was in practice at Laguna Seca, not even the race, just preparing. Then his suspension broke, at full speed, no warning. No time to react. The car went straight into the barrier with nothing Gonzalo could do about it. He did everything right, he made no mistake. The car failed him, and it cost him his life. That is the cruelest truth about motorsport. Sometimes, it does not matter how skilled you are. Sometimes, the machine decides. Number 7. Justin Wilson IndyCar, 2015. Justin Wilson was one of the most loved men in racing. British, warm, humble, adored by fans and fellow drivers alike. He was racing at Pocono when a car ahead of him crashed. A nose cone, a large piece of debris, launched into the air. It came down directly onto Justin's helmet at racing speed. He never regained consciousness. He died the next day. He was 37 with a wife and 2 young daughters waiting for him at home. But here is what his death gave the sport. IndyCar introduced the Aero Screen, a protective windscreen now fitted to every single car on the grid. Today, drivers are safer because of Justin Wilson. His name lives inside every race he never got to run. Number 6. Dan Weldon IndyCar, 2011. Dan Weldon was a 2-time Indy 500 winner. He was the kind of man who lit up every room he walked into. Smiling, funny, brilliant behind the wheel. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, lap 11, a multi-car crash exploded through the pack. Dan Weldon's car went airborne, over other cars, and hit the catch fencing at a speed that no human body could survive. He was pronounced dead hours later. The race was stopped. Every driver in the field climbed out of their cars and drove a slow, silent 5-lap tribute around the track. Grown men were crying in their helmets. He was 33 years old. He left behind 2 little boys and a sport that will never forget his smile. Number 5. Greg Moore, IndyCar, 1999. Greg Moore was 24 years old and already being called the future of IndyCar racing, the Canadian kid with lightning speed and a personality that made everyone love him. Final race of the 1999 season, California Speedway. His car suddenly lost control at extreme speed and hit the wall with devastating force. He was pulled from the wreck and rushed to hospital. He died the same day, 24 years old, the future of the sport, gone on the last day of the season. 1999 became the most painful year in motorsport memory. 2 young stars lost within months of each other, and the sport left wondering what could have been. Number 4. Anton Hubert F2, 2019. Anton Hubert was 22 years old and knocking on the door of Formula 1. Spa-Francorchamps, the Belgian Grand Prix weekend, lap 2 of the F2 race. At the Ride-Alon, one of the fastest corners in the world, his car was hit side-on at full speed. The impact launched him into the barrier with a force that was unsurvivable. Juan Manuel Correa, the other driver involved, spent months fighting for his own life. Anton Hubert was pronounced dead at the circuit that afternoon. The next day, Formula 1 drivers stood on the grid with red eyes. They raced, because that is what racers do, but every one of them carried his name with them. Number 3. Jules Bianchi F1 2014. Jules Bianchi, this one is different. This one stays with you. Japanese Grand Prix. Wet conditions. A car had crashed ahead and a recovery vehicle, a massive crane, was sent onto the track to remove it. Bianchi's car aquaplaned on the wet surface. He had no control. His car went under the recovery vehicle at full racing speed. The impact was catastrophic. He was airlifted to hospital. He was alive. His heart was beating. His family flew to Japan to be by his side. He stayed in a coma for 9 months. 9 months! And then on July 17, 2015, Jules Bianchi passed away. He never woke up. He was 25 years old. He was the first Formula 1 driver to die from race injuries in 21 years. Because of Jules, the sport introduced the virtual safety car and fast-tracked the Halo device. He changed Formula 1 forever and never knew it. Number 2. Roland Ratzenberger, F1, 1994. Roland Ratzenberger spent his whole life trying to reach Formula 1. He finally made it at 33 years old. His 3rd qualifying session ever. At Imola, his front wing broke at high speed. The car went straight into the concrete wall at the Villeneuve curve. He was gone before anyone could help him. He died chasing the dream he had worked his entire life to reach. The next day, Ayrton Senna, the greatest driver in the world, drove to the crash site alone. He stood there and stared at the barrier, and then he got back in his car. He would crash at the exact same circuit less than 24 hours later. Number 1. Ayrton Senna F1 1994. The name that stops everything. May 1, 1994. San Marino Grand Prix. Ayrton Senna, 3-time world champion, the greatest driver who ever lived, was leading the race. Lap 7, Tamburello corner. His car went straight, no turn, straight into the concrete wall at 190 miles per hour. A piece of suspension pierced his helmet. His close friend, Professor Sid Watkins, rushed to his side. He said later that he knew at that moment Senna was already gone. At 6:40 p.m., Ayrton Senna was pronounced dead. He was 34 years old. Brazil declared national mourning. Millions filled the streets of Sao Paulo. The whole world cried, and Formula 1 was never, ever the same again. Racing is extraordinary, but it comes at a price that no trophy can ever justify. Every driver on this list gave their life to a sport that gave them everything. And because of their sacrifice, racing today is safer than it has ever been. We do not just remember them, we owe them. If this video hit you, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. Subscribe and turn on notifications because more stories like this are coming. Thank you for watching. Drive safe.